Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I'd love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout.
Hey, welcome back. How was your week? I sure hope it was a good one. I've had such a fast forward week. Some of you know that I'm a little bit of a moon nerd. I'm really into astrology and I've been learning about it a little at a time. And we had this full moon, lunar eclipse, and it was all about letting go. And so I set a lot of intentions. Well, this week has been very buzzy. I've been very talkative. I've been very excited and then very tired. So I'd love to know if you felt any of the moon energy or if you have any thoughts about that. But today's episode is from the masterclass that I did last week. If you missed it, I want to just give you a little clip of what it's about. And today it's all about what many of us wrestle with, if not all of us, at least sometimes, is overwhelm. For years, I wore this like a badge of honor. And I thought if I was busy and stressed and always hustling, then I was proving my worth and making things happen. Now, I didn't set out with that intention, but in reflection, I have learned that being overwhelmed is not equated or a sign of success at all. It's actually a sign of us being out of alignment with what really matters for us. And so in this episode, I'm sharing a snapshot of the framework that I taught in the masterclass. I just kind of pulled out the 3-part system for lightening your load without blowing up your life. And if you did miss the live event, don't worry, I'm going to have the full replay with all of the tips and practices. So inside of the masterclass, you actually get some free training from me, some of the tools that I use, and you get to practice them right there. It runs about an hour, and I will have the link there so that you can get some of that training from me and just try on if it's something that works for you. And everybody that watches the replay and lets me know they did is entered to win my September giveaway, which is a free human design reading just for tuning in. But for now, let's just dive right in. Here is a little snapshot of how I help people work with their overwhelm and help bring more ease into their life. Let me know what you think. Hey, thank you for being here. This is Overwhelm is Not a Badge of Honor, and we're going to dig into that. And I'm excited to share this. I see it as a 3-step framework for the journey that I've been on. And really, whenever you have life stuff that comes up and you work through it, for me, these are the things that I feel led and most called to share. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, where I started, why overwhelm, stress, it's not a badge of honor, like what that means to me. And I would imagine that you have some things in your life that you're like, I feel stuck. I want to move forward, or you just not sure how, even though you know that it's in you. So we're going to start with that. The framework is really about assessing where you are. I'm going to share my toolkit with you, and you'll get some, mini bits of training on this is how we do it. This is what it is. So you can get a nice taste of what I can teach. The last piece of the framework is implementation with support. And of course, my signature line, without blowing up your life. We are not looking for big changes, but little changes that make a big impact so that you don't have to switch your whole routine and everything that you know and make it a big, scary, hairy goal. If overwhelm is something that you relate to, or stress, those 2 words, they might bring up different themes. I know when I first started this journey, for me, the biggest overwhelm was this so much to do, not enough time. And it wasn't just about the to-do list. It was like, I have all this to-do list that I have to do, but then I've got all of these things that I want to do that I will never, ever get to because I've got a to-do list I'm not even getting to. So how is it that I'm going to like improve my life or feel better ever? Because it's so overwhelming. For me, it sounded like I have to go harder. I have to try harder. I have to do more. I have to be really, really on track with my time and like do what I say I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, and like schedule. And even when I went on vacation, my mind was in the shoulds or in the have tos, or I should be doing this. I really I should check my email, or I forgot to follow up with that person, and I won't be able to relax if I don't go and take care of it right now. And just no balance on the work and rest cycle. It's really about learning how to take care of yourself, even if you have overwhelm showing up here and there. How to handle it without gripping onto it and making it heavy and overwhelming, meaning it puts more stress on you. You can have the busiest schedule and still use tools that are going to make your life feel like ease. The thing is, when we wear overwhelm and put it on us like a heavy weight, like there's bricks on our back, instead of letting it, just like the breath, come in and flow out, we try to make it mean that we can't get free, we can't break free. But I want you to be able to experience freedom from burnout, from overwhelm, from the stress. I'll just share my story quickly. I always was a high achiever all growing up, and I was involved in so many things. I really did wear my schedule as a badge of honor. I'm in trauma club, I'm in choir, I'm the president of this, I'm in speech and debate, I travel and compete in this, and I'm in golf, and I play basketball, and I just did it all. And then I was a volunteer at church, and like all of these things. And I thought that doing was correlated to my worth. That's what I learned how to do by being a high achieving person. Now, I learned a lot of fantastic things. I am a high achiever and I'm proud of it. But when I wore it as my way to get validation and to feel self-love, it just trained me more and more to get further away from my body, who I am, and my mind, making it mean that if I wasn't doing something and showing up 100%, then I didn't have value. So I kept piling on the weight. As I grew up and I got married, had kids, I even started my own business to break free from corporate. And I was able to, through hustle and grind and like more hours, trying harder, doing better, learning more, focusing, like just digging it all the way to a 6-figure entrepreneurial business. Really impressive, right? But I was so burdened, so weighed down. And when the title that I had started to not match my effort, like I kept giving this much effort, and then my validation, because I got the validation and then it was a little less. And then when I lost a title, I was still trying to add more, do more hours, more overwhelm, more stress, because I kept believing that if I just do it more of what made me successful in the first place, if I push harder, if I commit more, if I'm more disciplined, I'm going to then get this validation to come back up. And this never works because we only have so many hours in a day, and our bodies can only take so much before we get sick, before we burn out so hard that we can't even try to want that anymore. And so for a couple of years there, I was in this place of burnout, and I kept taking vacations or taking days off or trying new circumstances. And what I ended up learning is that I had to change the way I show up. I had to stop hustling and stop adding more and more expectations to myself before I was ever going to be able to break free of this. And I unfortunately did it very blind and it felt very like convoluted and like, I'll never figure this out. So that's kind of where the framework that I've come up with now, like looking back 5 years of incremental like changes and like that didn't work, let's try this, like trying to keep my vision never changed. I wanted to learn how to work less, still make enough money to meet my family's needs. And one of my big goals for one of those 5 years, the only goal I set for the whole year, I threw out the SMART goals. I said, I just want to learn what rest really feels like. I want to learn how to go on a vacation and not feel guilty or feel the weight of the overwhelm that's going to meet me at the door when I get home. I want to know how to handle that. And so I set that out as my mission. And I won't share like every single little thing that I did, but I did put it into a toolkit. And so that's what we're going to use to guide us today in this framework. So I have, if you envision a triangle, someday I'll have like some graphic designer make me cute little slides. But as a triangle, all right, we've got mind, body, and design. So mind is finding peace from mental overwhelm. So the thoughts, the craziness. Then we're going to talk a little bit about body, finding ease from stress and fatigue or that feeling of burnout and that heavy weight. We're going to talk about what the body has to do with that. And then I want to talk about the design, and that is going to be just pulling in this fast forward, like the magic sauce for me was learning human design. And it was a fresh approach to looking at how my energy works so that it doesn't have to look like more hours, more discipline, more hustle. You can actually work with how you were designed to move and bring the mind and the body in to alignment. And things just feel easier, even if your schedule doesn't change right away. So when you work these three pieces together, the mind, body, your design, how you were designed to wire, you will get the break, stop fighting yourself, and find flow. So taking that triangle, right, we got the triangle, those three pieces. Across the bottom here is a bridge. And that is the 3-step framework that I've put together. It's not about everyone knowing their human design and everyone knowing their dosha type and everyone having, this mindset work. It's about each individual assessing where they are and what is the heavy burden, what is the load that needs to be lightened. And sometimes that means that you can take off one strap of the backpack and get a little lightness here, so that you can learn to trust yourself before you take off the whole thing. And because we find some security in the things we do, and that's not necessarily wrong. We don't want to shock your system. And that's why I'm always talking about like, we're going to find more ease, find more peace in our life without blowing it up. Right? We're not going to sign up for like the all-in Biggest Loser competition. We're just going to take some tweaks and see where can we take something off that's not serving us anymore, and trust that, hey, I can still show up and be the person I want to be without this extra weight. And what that looks like is assessing where you are and what you're willing to change. So sometimes we know in our heads what it is that needs to change or that we should do, or like, if I really wanted this, then I would do it. It's not as simple as that. Sometimes we have to like climb a little ladder, and each rung of that ladder might be one little step. And that works a lot better, I found. It's not overhaul everything, but assess where you are and see like, what is the rung that I'm willing to step on? So human design influences this. When we assess where you are, I might say, well, which one of these light you up? And we pull from the toolkit. So we assess where you are. And then because of all of my training, I have all these gifts, and I sometimes get stuck on, well, should I just share about human design? Should I just share about yoga? Should I just share about mindset and meal prep? Or should I just share about sound? Like, how can I do all of it? It's going to be confusing, and not everybody needs everything. And so this epiphany that dropped in was, I just have this toolkit that I've been building, right? It's like a backpack, and I've got all the things that have supported me along the way. They may not be the exact things that you need, but I bet you some of them will help. And so I see this bridge from where you are now, picking out of the toolkit. Like I'm not wanting to pile on all my tools on top of you. That just adds more weight. Think about how heavy a hammer is, right? So I just add all these tools, like you got to do all 5 of these things, then that could add more weight. So what the coaching program that I put together and launching is really to help you assess where you are, take the tools that you're ready to make that next rung of the ladder to your lightened load. And then we're going to implement one at a time, one action at a time, one thing that calls you to it. And you'll have then the third step of the framework is to implement it in little ways without blowing up your life and with support, because a cheerleader is so important. If you are trying to, say move your body more each day, it's so much easier to show up and move your body when you don't feel like it, when you have that clear vision of why you're doing it, what the end result is. But also if you have a friend that also wants to like link arms and do the same, or they're moving towards the same goals and lightening their load as you are. So when I talk about the tools I have in my kit, all these simple little changes, like drinking lime water was one of my big things, and stop not eating a snack after dinner was one of my big changes. It's wild to be able to say that. And what's even crazier is when I was introduced to human design, it was like, oh my gosh, I knew something was out there that would make it feel easier. And it gave me that third option, because when I was in my overwhelm and I didn't have the answer and I just kept being burnt out no matter what I changed, it was do more, spend more time, try harder, be more disciplined, hustle, or quit and not have any money to support my family. That freaks me out in a whole different way. But when human design came into my life, it was about understanding how I custom was designed to use my energy and not get burnt out. It was the exact antidote to what I had been I was stucking over here. And then this third option comes and says, ooh, or you could try this and just see if it works. And when I started using my personal type, which I'm a manifesting generator who's meant to have a variety of things that I'm doing that I love and that I'm talking about. So at the time, I was trying to focus only on the one job that made me money, so that hopefully I could get really stable with that. And then I would allow myself to go have some fun and enjoy my life. But that's not at all how it works. Because if you don't practice enjoying your life while you're in the mud and the hard stuff, when that hard stuff is over, it's not going to feel freeing. It's not going to feel like fun. It literally not how things work. You have to practice joy.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparks something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insight, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.
You have to be able to experience those while the overwhelm is there. Or when the overwhelm goes away, proverbially, because it doesn't, you will not know how to have peace, and you'll just feel lost and like still stressed. I thought when I got to the top of the mountain, I'd feel really good. Nope, because we didn't practice feeling really good all the way there. You have to enjoy this moment, because future doesn't exist. And actually past doesn't exist either. It's just right now. And that is a really hard thing to accept, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to our brains. But the human design tool that I've used, it just tells you how your energy works. It gives you a blueprint for how you are meant to keep your energy high and how you're meant to make decisions. So you don't run into that decision fatigue or into indecision, which just causes you to use up your energy and then you don't have anything left. So if you haven't introduced yourself into human design like that, that is one tool that I lean hard on. I basically always look through the lens of that tool because for me, it was my way out of overwhelm and stress. All the other tools combined with it, I use them like daily, but using the way I was designed to work, allowing myself to have a lot of variety in my life because that's how I'm designed to be, and allowing myself to make decisions that I can trust from my gut. That's my design, might not be yours. But what I really want you to know from my heart is that you don't need to make huge changes in your life. But what I've learned and practiced is that you just need the next right step. I used to think, and I used to teach and coach, that everybody I met needed the same journey I had. They need all the tools that I have. But what I have found out from this Lighten Your Load journey that I've put together and working with people one-on-one through human design readings and yoga and sound, all these things that I've done, right? What I've learned is it's not about you taking what worked for me. It's about the gift that I have is helping you assess what is it that you can do without blowing up your life. And figuring that out based on what I have to offer. If any of these things sound like intriguing or curious to you, like maybe that could work for me, or ooh, I'm going to try that. With that, I do want to invite you to consider being part of the Lighten Your Load journey. So this is a coaching program. It runs 6 weeks. I am really excited to see who needs to jump in and really focus for 6 weeks on lightening their load. I can help you decide if this journey is a good fit for you. First and foremost, I've opened up my calendar to a free 15-minute conversation with me. So you click on this link, and then for the next 10 days, I've opened up my calendar. You can pick any 15-minute time increment there that you see that fits for you. We'll jump on a Zoom and we can talk about your concerns, your questions, what it looks like for you specifically, if it's going to work with your times and all of that. So I want you to know that that free discovery call is there for you. And I hope you'll use it if you are not 100%, heck yes, let's do this now. Okay. If you're considering it, pick a time in the next 10 days here so that we can figure out if it is or isn't a good fit for you. The next thing is the date. So it's October through November 14th. I did that strategically because October 1st marks 90 days left in the year. And a lot of people like to do those New Year's resolutions and things. And then I know things get busy from Thanksgiving on. So this is a really important time of year. It always has been an important planning time for me with business, with home, with just going over what worked for me this year, what doesn't work, what do I want. So it's a perfect time to have a little extra support. Here's what's included. 3 one-on-one private conversations with me, so the coaching calls. And these will likely be guided by some of the assessments so that we can do those assessments, right? They'll be maybe closer to the front of the 6 weeks. I want to make sure that you know how to use human design, what your body type is, if that's where you're struggling the most, or we can do a mindset call. I'm going to be offering once a week custom music that you can listen to help work in the background to balance emotions out. So that's just going to be the software running, and you will do that as well. That's included up to 6 inner voice updates. So the way that works is you send me a 10-second recording of your voice. I put it into my software, and then it just spits out the music that's custom to your voice, and it will tell you where you are. So you can watch if your emotions get more balanced over that 6 weeks, which will be, it's fascinating, but also the music just feels grounding. It makes you feel like you've got a little more pep in your step to like face this stuff. You get access to my full toolkit. So as we talk and assess, you'll have access to all of my sound and energy healing, human design, the mindset tools for overwhelm, and my Ayurveda yoga coaching for the body types custom to you. So little things like that, like let's see if this works. And you try it out for the 6 weeks. I don't want any of this to be overwhelming or blow up your life and make it feel undoable. This program is designed for you to be able to schedule those one-on-one sessions based on your availability. Also included is a group on Telegram, which is just a little chat app. You and everybody else in the Lighten Your Load Journey can talk back and forth, share what you're trying, share your results, have that community support, and ask questions. I check throughout the 6 weeks, I'll check it every day. So if you have questions and it's not time for a group call and it's not time for a one-on-one, then you can still get that support without waiting. There's also going to be 3 group coaching calls, Q&As, and I will be adding just a little bit of training practice to those. So each of those 3 calls will have a little theme, and then you can ask questions, get coached in real time, and learn how other people are doing as well. So it's a community, but custom to you, because we're meeting you where you're at and helping you take that next right step. That's what it's all about. It's just the next right step. And that is what I believe lightens the load a little bit at a time without you feeling more overwhelmed or heavier. And if you sign up by the 21st, so this is the early bird bonus, everybody that signs up by the 21st gets a weekly inner voice recording just from whenever you sign up. We'll get you started right away on that emotional balance and grounding music. And you also will get a custom human design strategy and authority video, because human design was my number one needle mover. I try to lead with that because I think it serves a lot of people. And if you know what your strategy and authority is, like how your energy works and how you are most aligned to make decisions you won't regret, I will look at your chart and give you the highlights in a recorded session that you can listen to over and over. So those are your early bird bonuses. When you fill out this form and join the group coaching, that will start in October. But if you sign up early, you get to start a little early. All right. And then if that is not for you, I do offer 25-minute coaching calls, just like a la carte. So you want to talk to me about any of the things that we've done, and one-off human design readings. I do them for business strategy. I do them for learning your gifts, your gates, the light you're here to shine, purpose, or just the foundational readings. If you feel like you're ready to take that next step and any of this sounds like it's meant for you, let's schedule a call. Or you can register. I'll put the link in there for you. Reply to the email and let me know if anything that I said, if you have any takeaways or questions. I would love to do that, to know that you watched it. And I am taking through the whole month of September. It'll give you an entry to winning a free human design reading. So everybody that's here today and everybody that watches replay and lets me know they did will be entered to win that. All right. So I really want to know what you think of this framework. If you're being stirred up a little bit inside, like, you know that you want to lighten your load, you're not sure how, you've never done a coaching program like this, don't know if you can afford it, any of those things, I want you to go ahead and take the time to do that 15-minute discovery call with me. And at minimum, do listen to that free masterclass recording, the whole thing. I have it linked up in the show notes, and it will give you a really good idea if you feel like I want you to use your human design inner authority. Like if you're feeling like your body's like, oh, that sounds like something that would really benefit me moving into the holiday season. This would really give me something that I could focus on and see if I can do it, right? Like so many times what we really need is to believe in ourselves. I've got all the resources linked up for you so you can watch the masterclass. What I do want you to share this episode, tag me on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, your social of choice is. And when I see you tag, then I'm going to put you in for my free human design reading drawing that I'm doing this month. So all you have to do is either tag me, reply to the email, let me know you watched the episode or watched the replay of the masterclass. And if you have questions or concerns, but you are really intrigued by either getting your own human design reading or by joining this program, you've got those couple of deadlines to work with. The 21st is that extra bonus, the early bird bonus. And then it starts October 1st, where there's 90 days to finish up the rest of the year. So I want to partner with you. Remember, no matter who you are, where you are, overwhelm does not have to be normal for you. So let's just take those small steps, the next right step, to start lightening your load, whether you join the program or not. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope it inspires you to take some kind of action this week. And when it does, or when you take that action, I want you to tag me. I want you to post about it, put it out there, because this community needs people to put themselves out there, say, hey, it matters for me to make these small changes in my life, brag about them, make them a big deal. Okay. All right. That's all I have for you this week. I will talk to you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.